So one of the things that really impressed me about CIR when I joined,
Other than me.
other than
Other than
David,
good.
obviously, other than present company, was the fact that there was a willingness on the part of realtors to share.
Yes.
They don't call it Team Blue for no reason. It really does feel and have the look and feel of Team Blue, not to mention the color of the shirt, right? But part of a Team Blue experience is mentorship.
Very much
And
so.
it's a very important part because new realtors, and some realtors that are not so new, can do with some guidance in terms of how to handle objections, how to handle prospecting, things like that. And CIR has actually structured a mentorship program. But it's not, I was under the impression before we talked earlier on that it was just the one mentorship program. So just how many mentorship programs do we have?
Well, we have several different kinds of mentorship programs. So we have our formalized one with our groups at each office. For instance, in the Northeast, we have 3 different mentorship groups and looking to start a 4th one up. And that's the traditional. They follow the 12-month rotational program. And I look at it as is if you were a craftsman, you're constantly working on your craft. So you're taking the time to sharpen your tools. You're always learning, adding to your educational base, and keeping that fine edge. So it's almost like sharpening that knife blade that you're going to be using to do your business.
Honing your skills.
Absolutely, honing your skills like you would hone a knife.
Yeah.
And Lindsay will tell you the same thing all the time. Good realtors practice till they don't get it wrong. Professionals practice till they cannot get it wrong. So you want to make sure that you're getting to that point. You can never stop getting better in this business, is my belief. There are a variety of areas that you can get support from. So with the formalized program, it's good. You have that chance within it with the peer-to-peer discussions, working on the skill for that day. And it's a lonely world in real estate in some ways. And there is the social aspect to those groups that's nice.
Yeah.
And you begin to feel like you're not alone. And you do have that sense of family. And it's amazing to me at CIR, with over 700 realtors now, how we have that strong sense of family and support throughout our company.
Right.
And it's just so positive.
So what, sorry?
Go ahead.
What would you say is the value of mentorship?
Well, and our other forms of mentorship, before I jump
Oh, yeah.
to there, is, of course, you can get some instructional time one-on-one. We have people like Kelly Kimber that step up and help out. And I look just within my own office, and there are areas that I'm not the expert in. When I moved into management, we still had MLX. So when we moved to Matrix, I've learned it, but I don't use it every day like some realtors. And then I look at someone like Wayne Brown in my office who will take the time to help one of my newer realtors. I look at people like Robin Moser that have done the videos to help us with open houses, you with prospects. I know when you've been sitting in the chair in my office lately, you've been able to help some people greatly. And I know that because they come back to me when I'm back in the office and say what a great experience they had meeting with you and learning some of the stuff for prospects or some other follow-up items where you're a bit of a guru for us. And you look across our company, the people that will step up, let alone all the mentorship group leaders, but the other people that just, yes. And then we have our shadowing programs. So the initial one we have, of course, is open houses. Realtors can follow it. We're in the middle of developing shadowing programs that will allow our newer realtors or realtors that want to see someone who's very good at one area, perhaps in a presentation of a new listing consultation or a buyer's consultation, the ability to be able to go be a silent person sitting there, learning and observing and seeing what nuggets you can pull from someone else. And it's really interesting. I don't think anywhere else, and you and I talked about this, do you have that theory where I'm fine with sharing my knowledge because you're not going to steal my client. You're going to use it to work with your own clients.
Right.
So it's just a real theory of abundance. And I don't think you have that really anyplace else. You've been at other brokerages, so you may have a better idea on that.
Well, unquestionably, there is more of a feeling here of I'm willing to help you, help me help you, as opposed to you're on your own.
Yep.
And I think that it's contagious. You know, when givers gain, they say. So as you give, and the mentorship groups, speaking from my own experience, it's not just about the mentoring.
No, it's
It's
the
about
dynamic.
learning, a brand new realtor can come with a brand new idea that perhaps I never thought about before. So there's a lot of value in the groups, and certainly in terms of shadowing and the quick connect. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, we call it mentoring, but it really expands beyond the mentor groups very significantly, doesn't it? Now, how do the mentorship groups help a realtor?
One, we talked a little bit already about the value of having a support group. God knows we need a support group. But the ability, when they're meeting in those groups once a month, to have that sort of hour that you take out of the 3 to talk about what's going on in each other's business, getting that peer-to-peer feedback and that level of support, or, oh my God, this client is, or I can't believe this happened to me with it. You get some feedback. They can bring it down to the level of helping you, but taking the emotion out of it a little bit for you, commiserating with you, supporting you, and you can get rid of that, vent that negative out to the world so that you can focus and accentuate back to the positive, which is so important. We have people that are transitioning from other careers where they've never been in a sales format. They may have been in a customer service-based business. I think that some of our strongest realtors are people that come from customer-based previous careers. So teachers are quite strong. Social workers, nurses, serving staff. Some of my best realtors started, were waiters, waitresses, and they become top performers. A couple things, they're not afraid of hard work, because God knows their job is hard that they were doing. They understand the value of good service and what that does for them in remuneration eventually from their clients. And they have a more giving personality. So all of these things help through our different mentorship programs in bringing that to the forefront. And at the same time, of course, working on core skills and taking the loneliness out. For realtors that are in the business, they'll, 20, 30 years, they talk about back when everybody was at the office and it was much more communal and there was that ability to chat and socialize. So at CIR, we do it through our mentorship programs. We do it through our functions that we do for just realtors. Different ways to create that social culture. Because if someone's coming from a business where they had a lot of interaction with people all day long in a big office setting with social committees and different things going on, it can be very lonely in real estate.
Yeah.
So you can develop that strong, or that to be able to just reach out and touch when you're not in the meeting, another member of your group or another person who's been supportive that you get a connection with. And I think that's what it really lies at the heartbeat of CIR, is the connections we make with each other throughout the company.
So for those realtors that have never experienced the mentorship program, how is it structured?
For the formal program, we have a lead mentor. They have, I would refer to as the 2IC, second in command, but they're more the person that's going to make sure the minutes are stored and reminders are sent out and do the detail-oriented stuff. The mentor leader for the group is not, they're in charge, they're not dictating, because it really is a round table. And they just guide the discussion, make sure that they bring focus so that we don't wander off like we tend to as realtors. We get 8 of us in a room and it's like ricochet rabbit all over the place, but they do bring some focus to it. Their job is to make sure the material is covered, but that everybody has the opportunity to be heard and make it a safe place.
Yeah.
So you can sit there and say, oh my God, I can't believe what I did, and know that you're going to get support, and they'll make you understand that you're just going through a learning process. No one's perfect out of the gate. The realtor who's done 500 deals that sits in one of those will learn something from the person that hasn't done a deal yet.
That's right.
It's very much a collaborative atmosphere, I guess.
So from your perspective, what would you say is the number one value to the mentorship groups?
It's hard to rate any of them as number one because there are so many important features. I think the ability, the accountability that comes with it, because you're making a commitment to the group, you're going to show up every month on time, you're going to be prepared, you know you're going to be sitting there talking about what you've done on your business for the last month. And if we've been in traditional settings before, we've always had people overseeing us, unless we were right at the top, So there was already built-in accountability. If you were in sales, you had sales performance levels to get to. All of these things. Now you're responsible for your own accountability. So I think knowing that you're going to sit there in the group and go, yeah, I didn't make my 5 Ford calls a day, but that's okay. And we talk about that. And I got a chance as Robin was transitioning out of the mentorship group that she led for us for so long and was the first one in the Northeast office and did such a tremendous job at. So I was sitting in for it for 2 or 3 months while we decided where we were going with it, who would be able to go in and take it over. And being able to actually sit in there as the mentor and see actually in action everything that was going on was tremendous. And I'm going to miss it, I got to tell you. But it is a lot of time for me. But I'd almost wish I could still do it.
Well, I think that my experience with the mentorship program is the fact that it is structured. It gives you a track to run on. And I got an envelope back from the office.
Yep.
And I didn't even remember that I had given them the envelope, which is a sealed envelope with a goal. And it was to be open in a certain time period. And fortunately for me, and I had achieved that goal.
Well, that's good, and it's nice.
But it was a sense of satisfaction knowing that you'd written the goal and actually accomplished it, you know.
Well, and I talk about the accountability, but then there's the cheerleading aspect.
Yeah.
People that are supportive saying, you are doing a good job, you're doing everything right, the wheel will turn, you will start getting more business. Everyone, even the most successful realtors, go through slower periods. So getting that support, another little idea, refocusing them on, are you doing the things you're supposed to doing? And when you sit back and actually look at it and you go, no, I have been sliding a little, so it's no wonder the pipeline's not dripping stuff out as fast.
Focus on the activity, not on the results.
Yeah.
If you focus on the activity, you're going to get the results.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. That gives a good perspective.
Yeah.
And for those realtors that are not involved in the mentorship program, I can't encourage you enough to actually get involved.
I'd also encourage people that feel they may have the ability to want to lead a group to meet with their individual office manager, talk to Kelly Kimber that manages the mentorship program. We're always looking for people. People are naturally going to roll in and out of mentorship groups, both as mentor leaders and participants. So the groups do constantly refresh. They're going to get stale after a couple of years. It's natural. So people are going to slowly pull back out, may come back in later on. And understand that if you're assigned to a group but you're not feeling the fit, everybody's personalities are different. That's okay.
That's true.
It's okay to come back to the manager or Kelly and say, you know, it's okay, but I think I need a different one.
Right.
And we've had people that'll go from the south to the northwest or from the northwest to the northeast to a downtown one, till they find the group that works for their personality.
The power of Team Blue.
Absolutely, and the dynamic is so important. Yeah. Everybody within a mentorship group has to be able to work together.
Right.
You can't have a disruptive influence. But if you've read Good to Great, my favorite chapter is the bus chapter. Either get on the bus and go the way the group's going, or you will get off the bus all by yourself.
That's right.
So it is a great system that way, in that the like personalities that are going to work together will stay within the group. Someone who may not fit that personality group will find the one that does.
True.
So, and as far as I know, we're the only one that has a formalized mentorship program. And it's still what I love most about CIR. I talk about it in every interview, and it comes right from the tattoo that Lindsay has on the inside of his wrist, Kanai, constant, never-ending improvement. And that's what our mentorship programs do in a fun and enjoyable way.
Well, I think the very fact that CIR has a manager of development, of realtor development, speaks volumes, right? We're all about having all of us do better jobs at what we do. So.
Well, and it's the ninja theory of abundance. As soon as you start doing with a deal with a person that has that same philosophy that we tout and want our realtors to do, the transactions just go much smoother.
Yeah.
And who gets the best result out of that? Both the clients that are involved.
And the realtors.